Adding integers, absolutely nothing better than kind of really the building block that you need in order to just continue to grow successfully in the math realm. So this is kind of the bread and butter, the starting point, I feel like, to being good at math, right? Why don't we get into it? Now, most of my students don't know yet, but I am going to be making them learn a song this week in how to add integers successfully, right? It goes to the tune of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. It's gonna sound cringe, okay? I promise you, if you're watching this and you're learning this for the first time, this is going to be very cringeworthy, especially with me singing it, poorly for you guys, right? But if you are trying to be successful at adding integers, I think this song will help you out quite a bit. So I wrote it down right here. It just says same signs, add and keep, different signs, subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger number, then you'll be exact. Right now I'm going to sing it for you. Same signs, add and keep, different signs, subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger number, then you'll be exact. Now, I'm telling you right now, it sounded so bad when I just sung that out loud, but as you keep repetitively singing this over and over and over, you're going to be like, you know what, that guy's on to something. And I am indeed, right? Now, I'm not going to take credit for it. My coworker showed me this, but regardless, it's fantastic. So if we jump right into number one, we have negative 12 plus 17. First, I want you to take a look at both numbers. 12, well, what sign's in front of it? Well, it's a negative. And 17, well, what sign's in front of it? It's a positive. Well, are those the same signs or are they different signs? Well, in this case, they're different signs. So if they don't have the same sign and they're different, our rule says to subtract. So different signs subtract. So let's go ahead and subtract these two numbers. We have 17 minus 12, and you end up getting 5 back. And then the second part of this, after the different signs subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number, then you'll be exact. Well, 17 is larger than 12, and 17 is positive, which means my final answer needs to stay positive. Okay, keep the sign of the larger number. So it's going to be positive 5 for number one. For number two, you might also see problems where there's three numbers being added together. All I do is go one at a time. So negative 23 plus negative 14, and I'm going to completely ignore that plus 45 for now. So negative 23 plus negative 14, they both have negative in front of them. So the same signs, add and keep. So all I'm going to do is add 23 and 14 together. So we have negative 23 plus negative 14. They have the same exact sign, so we simply add them together. So 23 plus 14 is 37, and make it negative. And then bring down the plus 45 because we didn't use it at all. Now, if we take a look at this problem, we have negative 37 plus 45. Well, now these are different signs, and now we want to go ahead and subtract them. Well, 45 minus 37 is 8, and keep the sign of the larger number. In this case, it's 45, and it's positive, meaning my final answer has to be positive, so positive 8. Right, for number three, I see same signs. They're both negative, so simply add them together. Well, 15 plus 7 is 22, and make it negative. Same signs, add them together, and keep the sign that they share for number three. For number four, again, starting off with just the first two numbers, 75 plus negative 13. Well, those are different signs. 75 is positive, 13 is negative, so we want to subtract here. So 75 minus 13 is going to give you 62, and then keep the sign of the larger number. Well, 75 is definitely bigger than 13. It was positive, so we keep 62 positive, and then let's bring down that 14, and then this is easy. It's just addition that you've been doing for years now. Same signs. They're both positive, so simply add them together and keep the sign that they share. And we're going to end up getting 76 for our answer for number four. And then the very last one, 120 plus negative 80. Those are different signs, so we want to subtract them. So we end up getting 40. And it says again, keep the sign of the bigger number, then you'll be exact. Well, 120 is bigger than 80. 120 was positive, so my final answer has to be positive as well. Right, now before you go, I have 5 problems that I want you to try on your own. So without further ado, let's get into the practice problems. For these 5, I want you to pause the video, write your answers down on a sheet of paper or whatever you have in front of you, and see if you can go 5 for 5 before I go over the answers. I'm assuming at this point you have now tried all 5 problems, and now let's go over them together. For the first one, I see different signs, which means right away I should be subtracting here. So 32 minus 11 is going to be 21. and then keep the sign of the bigger number. Well, 32 is bigger is positive, which means my final answer needs to be a positive 21. For number 2, again, I just want to do the first two numbers first. Completely ignore the plus 27. I don't want you to take on too much at once, right? Students always try to rush through this stuff. They mess up the rules. But remember, sing that song in your head. Okay, I'm telling you right now, it works like a charm. Even if you're relearning this from years ago, this song works. Again, it's cringe. I get it. I don't care at all. It's fantastic. Okay, negative 56 plus negative 9. Same signs, add and keep. They're both negative, so add them together. So 56 plus 9 is going to give us 65, and we just want to make sure that it's negative because they keep the sign that they share. So it's still negative, and then bring down the plus 27 that we still have. And now again, we're just looking at one problem, right? Not all three numbers at once. Negative 65 plus 27. Well, those are different signs now, so we want to go ahead and subtract them. So 65 minus 27 is going to give us 38. And since we're keeping the sign of the bigger number, well, 65 was bigger and negative, which means my final answer needs to be negative. So hopefully you're 2 for 2 in the practice session so far. And now let's go ahead and take a look at number 3. Same signs, add and keep. Add them together, we get 47, and keep the sign that they share, so negative 47. And then on to number 4. Start with 76 plus 18. We add them together, same signs, add and keep. So 76 plus 18 is going to give us 94. And then bring down the plus, parentheses, negative 55. And now once again, we'll sing our rule to ourselves in our head. I'm not going to sing it again for you. You know, I'm sure that was bad enough to hear me sing the first time. Then we have 94 plus negative 55. Different signs, so we want to go ahead and subtract this. So 94 minus 55 is going to give us 39. And then we want to keep the sign of the bigger number. Well, 94 is bigger, it's positive. My final answer needs to be positive. And then finally, the very last one, different signs. So let's go ahead and subtract. So we have 181 minus 63 is going to give us 118. And then keep the sign of the bigger number. Well, 181 is positive, so my final answer needs to be positive. If you went 5 for 5 in the practice problems, please let me know in the comments. This song is fantastic if you are learning it for the first time or even relearning it from a couple years ago, or maybe you're a parent, you're like, man, I don't remember how to add integers. This song helps you out, helps your student out. I promise it works. Keep singing it to yourself to the point that it bothers you, right? I'm going to sing it to my students until they want me to stop, because then it's going to be burned in their head. So just a heads up, if you're my student and you don't know that yet, well, you're going to know very, very quickly. Okay, but before I go, I wanted to show you guys an incentive that I got for the end of September, right? I know September just started, but I wanted to showcase to you guys an incentive that I picked up. I've always been a big incentive guy. And, you know, I know some students, you know, don't grow up with a ton. You know, there's some students that do. But regardless, I always give incentives out at the end of every month, even every week. But usually monthly giveaways are a lot more. And students, as long as they earn an A, B, C, right? I know some parents don't care if students get A's. I'm fine with you earning a C in my class and still being eligible for a monthly reward. So I resell video games, you know, to pay off some student loan debt, but also to give away nice incentives for them, you know, at a much cheaper price than you would buy at a store or anything like that. So I picked this up recently, very nice shape. You know, I'm gonna get it cleaned up for them, just so no other residues on there, you know, from a previous owner or anything. But check this out, right? Take a guess what you think it is. Let me actually turn the screen so you can see it a little bit better. Take a look at this bad boy, right? Comes with a nice Mario case, right? So if we go ahead and open this up, right, let me take this out real quick. Look at this. Nice Nintendo Switch Lite. I do have to just kind of clean the screen a little bit, but tell me that doesn't look clean. You know, this is a great reward for students that are working hard. Okay, I'm not saying that, you know, if you're a teacher and watching this like, oh man, I got to be like him. This is just something that I truly love to do. I love video games. I grew up with them, and I want students to experience that as well, but also maintaining, an academic and gaming balance, right? I struggled with it as a kid, but here I am now kind of, pushing students to want to do both successfully, academics as well as still being able to game. So I'm going to give away the Switch Lite at the end of September to students that have A, B, or C, and there's going to be one lucky winner. And then also with that, I bought well, not bought, it came with the package, but Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, that's going to be thrown in there. It's like a $35 game. We'll throw it in there, just so they don't have no game at all. But I can always check if I get more Switch games by the end of the month. I might sub it out or something like that. But one day I want to be able to do this on YouTube as well, maybe even host some big math competitions and give away out incentives like that. But if you like the video, please make sure to actually leave a like. Comment again if you went 5 for 5. If you want me to cover any other topics, please let me know in the comments. And again, please make sure to subscribe, press the bell, turn on the notifications when I post the next video. And again, we'll see you with more mathematics in the next one. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I appreciate it.